here we are at the blowing platform. Our craftsmen here, they train for a total of 8 years, 5 as an apprentice and 3 years at mastering this craft of blowing. Just like to bring your attention to the large equipment at the back of the platform. It's surrounded by the orange piping. Some of you may be able to see directly into it. It's that orange glow behind the heat shield. This is called the tank furnace. The tank furnace, it burns at 1400 degrees Celsius. Our raw materials will be placed into the tank furnace. They will melt and our end product will be our molten crystal. Pre-shaping tools I talked about in the previous section to pre-shape the molten crystal. And that orange glow you see of the crystal is just due to the extreme heat. As it begins to cool, it will become a light amber colour and it will eventually become clear. Now craftsman has lowered the molten crystal into the cast iron mould. Now he's going to constantly blow and turn the crystal. He's blowing the crystal so that it will expand and have a hollow inside. He must constantly turn the piece to ensure it will not stick to the cast iron mould. The crystal you see coming from the rim of the mould up to the iron rod, this is called the cap. The cap is just excess crystal that will attach the piece to the iron rod. The cap, it will be removed in the next section. Now because we are using a cast iron mould, we know that this is a regularly produced item. Our craftsman is working on an ice bucket at the moment. Here you see some more examples of the different cast iron moulds that we would use. Now you see the crystal has been shapen using our cast iron mould. Now the craftsman is going to pass it down to the craftsman here on the ground floor. Try to move up, you're going to see a little better. Now his job is to remove the piece from the iron rod. He's also going to constantly turn the crystal. It's a very vital point at this stage to turn the crystal. This is to ensure that it will retain its shape and it will have symmetry as it is cooling. At this stage the crystal is still over 400 degrees Celsius. Craftsman there was just making sure the bottom of the crystal was flat. Now to remove the crystal from the iron rod, he uses a combination of cold water and cold air. He will place this cold water and cold air onto the top and the bottom of the iron rod and the top of the crystal. This will cause the crystal to cool and contract, detaching itself from the iron rod. Once the crystal has detached from the iron rod, a craftsman will place it into one of our 3 kilns found at the right hand side of the room. Now the kilns are kept at 400 degrees Celsius. Now when production has ceased and all the items created today have been depleted and placed inside the kiln, the temperature will be brought up to 490 degrees Celsius and over a 9-hour period the temperature will gradually drop. Now each piece of crystal must be placed in a kiln to cool because each piece will be of different thicknesses. They will cool at different rates and will cause the crystal to shatter. Craftsman applying the cold water. Crystal has detached from the iron rod and is now going to be placed inside of one of our kilns. Just another piece that our craftsmen are working on is this vase you see here. Again, that will go through exactly the same processes of being detached from the iron rod and placed inside one of our kilns. I'll give you a few more moments here to have a look around, and when everybody's ready, we'll make our way up to quality inspection. The shape of the crystal, the craftsman will use one of 2 saws to remove the cap. For larger pieces, we will use the horizontal saw. And for smaller pieces, the vertical saw. The type of saws that we use are diamond industrial saws. And once the cap has been removed, our craftsman will then place it into this good collage bin. Good collage is found in front of the vertical saw. Now, good collage is excess crystal that will not be used. However, we do not waste any crystal here. This will be placed back into the tank furnace, remelted and reused. Those large white bags you see in the back of the room towards the left-hand side, they contain 30% of our raw materials, which was silica sand, hot ash and litharge, and the remainder 70% is made up of this pre-existing crystal with good collage. And we will go through 2 tons of these bags each and every day in order to keep our tank furnace constantly running. And once the cap has been removed, the cap down in the middle of the platform. As the platform is turned, the markers that are set up will mark the horizontal lines, and using the backboard as a base, our marker will mark our vertical lines. Now in the next section we're going to see our cutters, and our cutters have
You just got that one. Sorry, we're down. What is it?
So here we are in the cutting department. So our craftsmen here, like I said, they trained for 5 years as an apprentice, 3 years of mastering the craft of cutting. Then we do 2 different types of cut here. This one here, the stem, is called flat or right word cut, and this one here is called wedge cut. So the pass around and you will feel the different textures. Now flat cutting is usually found on the stem of stemware, like this piece here, or on the neck of decanters. Flat cutting is a much longer process than wedge cutting. This is because we must use 2 different wheels to achieve the cut. The first wheel that we will use is the rough wheel. The rough wheel will remove the initial roundness of the crystal, and the second is the smooth wheel that will smoothen out the cut. Now wedge cutting takes a much faster process than flat cutting. The type of wheels that we will use for both cuts are diamond industrial wheels. Just like the diamond industrial saws, there's a constant flow of water. This water is to cool the wheel and the crystal when they come in contact with each other. Also, if you notice, our craftsman is cutting the outside of the crystal, so he has to look through the piece in order to cut the opposite side. This will distort his view. From their training, our craftsman also learns about pressure. Depending on the thickness of a piece of crystal, the craftsman must know how much pressure to apply. If they apply too much pressure, the crystal will break. However, if they do not apply enough, they will not indent the crystal fully. Now each piece of crystal must be indented 2/3 of the way deep. This is so that when it is polished, it's going to get that crystal shine. Now depending on the piece that a craftsman are working on, they may have to change the wheel 6 to 7 times throughout the cutting process just to achieve all the different types of cuts. We use for research and development. However, they will be used on pieces that have extremely difficult designs or pieces that are extremely heavy that a craftsman would not be able to hold for a long period of time. However, most of the case, if a piece begins its cut in the auto cut machine, it will be passed back to our craftsman and they're going to finish off the cut. So I'm going to give you some time here to have a look around. You can ask myself or indeed any of the craftsmen any questions.
Polish it after it has been engraved, you'll just remove the engraving completely. That's why you're left that frosting. Then we have, so when each piece of crystal is polished, it's done in these vats. And these are called polypropane vats. They're usually about 8 foot high. This process is this shiny piece of crystal here. This piece of crystal then happens, and that wins. That is all the processes one piece of crystal has to go through. If you want to have a look around here whenever you're ready, we're just going to go back to the hardness of it. I'm not too sure if this is completely solid. I don't know what the measurement on it would be.
ട്രേയുടെ വില എന്നാ നോക്കായിരുന്നു.
ആ ട്രേയുടെ വില എന്നാന്ന് നോക്കാനായിരുന്നു. അത് കാണുന്നില്ല.
100 രൂപയെങ്കിലും ആവും മിനിമം. 100 അല്ലേ 80 രൂപ.